Welcome to Music Theory 101. Thanks for coming to class today. All right, before we jump into a bunch of other things on the guitar, it's really important to understand how the notes work on the fretboard. And so we're going to do that in this lesson using the musical alphabet. So I'm going to explain what that means. Hopefully that will hopefully some light bulbs will go off and you'll begin to understand how that works on the fretboard. Before we even do that, you need to know the names of the strings. So let's talk about that really quick. We also do have a lesson on that in our Essentials category. So check that out, but I'll just mention it in this lesson as well. Here's how you remember it. Elephants and dogs grow big ears. Or Eddie ate dynamite, goodbye Eddie. Use whichever one you would like. Elephants and dogs grow big ears. So E-A-D-G-B-E. You've got to remember that because you have to know what note we're starting on in order for everything else to make sense. Definitely the foundation of what we're doing. All right, so we want to know and learn the musical alphabet. How does it work? What notes? How do we find different notes on the guitar? All right, here's the musical alphabet. A, B, C, D, E, F, G, and then we stop there. There's no H. We stop at G. There are sharps and flats between some of these notes. We're not going to really talk about that a whole lot in this lesson, but you do need to know that we stop at G and then we start over on A. So here's how it works. See if you can see this there. A, B, C, D, E, F, G. You might notice something different about the B and the C and the E and the F. Well, the thing that is different about that is that, well, you'll notice the boxes. That's obvious. The reason why that's there is because there are no sharps or flats between the B and the C and the E and the F. In other words, you're actually just moving one fret to go from the B to the C. Whereas all the other notes in the musical alphabet, you're moving two frets. You're moving a whole step. So going from the A to the B is going to be a whole step, which is two frets. So if you're on the A note and you want to get to the B note, you've got to move two frets. Now once you get to B, because we're right beside this C, and no sharps and flats between the B and the C, you're just going to move one fret. So you're going to go from the B to the C. And then if you want to get to the D, you've got to move two frets, which is a whole step. So you're moving two frets to get to the D. You're moving another two frets to get to the E. And then there we are, E and F. No sharps or flats between the E and the F. That means it's only a half step, which means we're only moving one fret from the E to the F. And then we're back to our whole steps, again from F to G. So a whole step, again, is two frets. You're going to jump two frets to get to the G, and then you're going to jump another two frets to get back to the A. All right, hopefully that's starting to make a little sense for you. Maybe you already know it, but let's take a look at that on the fretboard. So how does that work exactly? Well, let's say we are on the E string. What we want to do is follow the musical alphabet. Is there a sharp or a flat between the E and the F? No, there's not. It's only a half step, but that means we're just going to move one fret to get to the F. And then we're just going to keep jumping whole steps until we get to the B. So a whole step takes us to G. Another whole step takes us to A. Another whole step takes us to B. And then going from the B to the C, remember no sharps or flats, it's just a half step. Now we're at the C. And then we go back to our whole steps to a D. And then another whole step back to E. Now we started on E and we finished on E. You'll notice two dots on the 12th fret. That's because it's telling us that we are an octave higher from where we began. So from our open string to the 12th fret is one complete octave. So we get back to playing E, A, D, G, B, E when we get to the 12th fret. All right, let's take a look at it on one more string. Let's try it on the A string. A to B is a whole step. Remember, B to C is a half step. C to D is a whole step. D to E is a whole step. E to F is a half step. F to G is a whole step. And G to A is a whole step. And there we are, back to A. Okay, hopefully that makes a little bit of sense for you, the musical alphabet and how it works in terms of half steps and whole steps. We only have half steps between the B and C and the E and F. The rest of them you're going to jump a whole step, which is 2 frets. All right, hope that makes sense. We'll see you in another lesson.